And he's got Delaney open, and Delaney's got it, and now it's a foot race. Nobody's going to catch number 6.
Drop it.
Keep going!
It's game time, right here, right now.
Hello and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are and whenever you may be watching. Tonight's WKMC TV broadcast is a District 4 Pennsylvania Heartland Athletic Conference Division II matchup sponsored by Hirsch Family Dentistry, featuring the Montoursville Warriors and the Mount Carmel Area Red Tornadoes. My name is Jim Lesko. Alongside me is my brother Dan Lesko. Jose Gonzalez supports us from the sidelines, and together we're coming to you live from Memorial Stadium all the way up in Montoursville for week 5 of the high school football season. So we've both teams tonight come into this match, Dan, at 3-1.
Yep.
And only a week removed from really hard-fought single-digit victories on both sides.
Yeah, Jim, and honestly, last week's Montoursville opponent was a similar opponent to the Red Tornadoes' week 3 opponent with Mifflinburg.
Very similar to Mifflinburg.
Mifflinburg, you know, I talked about it earlier, is Mifflinburg's probably the best winless team maybe in the state of Pennsylvania with how tough they've been playing these games. Fell last week to Montoursville 27-20 after the week prior losing to the Red Tornadoes 35-34. I mean, it's some heartbreaking losses for Mifflinburg, but big wins, and I think, you know, we've talked about it, and then last week, the Red Tornadoes game against Southern Columbia, that hard-fought 7-6 victory, a first-half touchdown on a big play for the Red Tornadoes proved to be the deciding factor. Realistically, a Bobby Shoppy extra point proved to be the deciding factor. So these teams have showed that they're very gritty, tough 3-1 football team. So I expect to see nothing different here tonight.
Well, one thing that'll be different tonight from last night, or excuse me, from last Friday night, is the Red Tornadoes seem to have won the toss and elected to defer. You look at the Red Tornado 4 captains out there, 3 of them normal, right, as you see every week.
Yep.
Number 2, Belichick, 24, Blessing, 28, Bailey. Delaney's the game captain, but you might notice the last couple weeks when you saw Blessing out there, padless.
Yes.
Just in his jersey,
yes,
out there for support, trying to get himself healthy. Well, he is suited up tonight, so we'll see how much impact he has on that offensive side of the football.
Yeah, Jim, we saw Blessing in the early time, and you know, we talked about it. It's pretty crazy when you see an entirely offensive playbook just shrink so significantly with the loss of really one key guy. I mean, Blessing's we've talked about it over the past 4 years that he's been here. He's a senior now. He showed out as a freshman when he unfortunately got injured, but he's had such an impact, and he's the body blows guy. He'll take 20 carries a game, but coming back off of that injury, we'll see what capacity he will be playing tonight. Is he going to be out there more of a decoy in the run game? You know, does Coach Dara kind of want to ease him in there, maybe on a snap count? We'll see what the impact is that he's able to have tonight.
And it's not exactly, you know, a return game against a pushover. As we said, the Warriors are not only 3-1, but in their 3 victories, they've given up only 55 yards per game on the ground. And a Red Tornado offensive attack that, again, has had great success through the air, but last week in particular struggled a little bit when they went back to the ground game.
Yeah, and again, that's a very tough Southern Columbia rush defense But again,
Number
we're
25,
getting ready to get
Michael
going here.
Reeder.
And, you know, all this talk, we're gonna find out what way things go here in a few seconds.
Shoppy kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. It's going to be Reeder and Williams back deep for the Warriors. So here we go. Shoppy's kick is going to be in Williams' direction. He'll take it at about the 11. He's going to come back across the field, try to get the edge. Lukuski's out there. He's going to slow him down. And Lukuski, together with number 14, Ezekiel Noel, will run Williams out of bounds right around the 30-yard line, maybe the 29.
Yeah, that's a good job by Lukuski. It looked like initially Williams was going to have the edge there, and that could have spelled trouble. But Lukuski did a good job of making a recovery tackle there, slowed Williams down enough to allow Ezekiel Noel to come in there and help him out with that tackle.
That Red Tornado defense had some changes last week as Karicki moved to the nose.
Yep.
He said it's the first time since he was 11 years old, and my goodness, did he show the impact he can have there. As the first handoffs goes to Banks, and he's got nowhere to go. He hits Bailey first. Maybe got back to the line. It looks like he might have lost 2.
Yeah, Jim, and Banks, the Warriors' leading rusher had a huge game last week. He carried the ball 25 times, had 187 yards on the ground, and 3 rushing touchdowns. And they only scored 27 points. So that's about 75% of the team scoring there.
So the Warriors come out in it's a little bit of a pistol with an offset eye. Messina takes the handoff. He's going to pitch it to Banks. He's going to try to get that left edge, but a nice play made. Looked like initially Clokus that tripped him up, and my goodness, we can't talk enough about that young man.
Clokus, again, just plays with so much energy, Jim. He's the trailing defender. He comes through the spot where the pulling guard vacated from the backside of the play and runs that down, just gets the heel of Banks, and it's enough to slow him down and stop that from being a huge gain.
And so if you look at the Red Tornadoes' leading tacklers on the defensive side of the football, you go right up the middle. Number 1 is Miller with 48 tackles, so he's in that linebacker spot. 2 is Karicki at the nose. Number 3 is Kimzel, who's just a few yards off the ball at the safety spot, and then it's Clokus. So not a lot of room to be had in the middle of that Red Tornado defense, but a nice completion from Messina to number 17, Crawford, for a first down, knocked out of bounds around the 50-yard line.
And Jim, something you're not used to seeing here from the Red Tornado defense, it appeared that they were in a zone, a defensive, like a zone coverage. There was an underneath defender, a deep half defender. That's at cover 2. They're trying to outlaw that in the NFL, but we'll see. Really nice job by Messina finding the underneath guy and turn that into a big play.
Reeder comes in motion across the formation for Messina. He's going to hand it to Banks. Makes his initial move. He gets up inside. He's going to run into Clokus. Will stop him about 9, after gaining 9, about a yard short.
Stop by number 4.
And the rest of the Red Tornadoes, Kimzel included, will come clean up the pile.
Yeah, Clokus did a good job on the initial tackle, slowing down Banks, and then Kimsel's actually the one that kept him from, well, I thought that kept him from the first down, but it appears now that they're moving the chains. He must have got a push there, but Kimsel came in and kind of pushed Banks backwards. I thought that was going to be enough to stop him short.
So second first down of the drive for the Warriors. Messina to throw again. He's got a good clean pocket. He's going up top. He's looking for, and he almost had Williams. Good coverage by Lukuski, but a flag comes in late. That's likely to go against the Big Red.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the flag's going to, I'm pretty sure what the flag's going to be here, Jim, but Lukuski couldn't be in better coverage. There's hand fighting going on there, but that's typical. It kind of went both ways. The receiver was swatting at Lukoski's hand, and Lukoski's, doing a good job just keeping contact with his receiver, but unfortunately, it's going to go against the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, it was indeed a pass interference call.
First down, Warriors from the Mount Carmel 26-yard line.
The 15-yard penalty.
Kind of an interesting one there.
9:48 in the first quarter, still early. Warriors have taken the opening kickoff and driven to the Red Tornado 26. Reeder in motion again. Messina hands it off, and this time it's not Banks. It's number 22, Hayden Harvey, off the left side for a first down near the 10 to the 11.
Yeah, Harvey had a lot of space there off the left side. He made one little jump cut and turned that into a nice big gain there, deep into the Red Tornado red zone now.
Harvey came in tonight, 31 carries for 206 yards on the season. Not a bad number 2 behind Banks.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like a power package going in there, like a red zone rushing package. You see Harvey come to the sideline, you see Banks go in, and you also see number 42, Noah Kemmerer, 6'1", 200-pound, being like that fullback spot next to Messina there.
And it's Banks. He's going to run behind Kemmerer, but he's going to run into Bailey first, who did a great job eluding the initial blocker.
Stop by number 28, Al Bailey.
Got to stop after a gain of 2.
Yeah, Bailey did a really good job. It looked like he just kind of let Kemmerer just blow by him there. You know, didn't pay him any mind and sat down in his spot there. Knew that was, you know, if this is where the lead blocker's coming, it's probably where the guy with the ball is coming shortly thereafter, and made the right read and made a nice play.
Williams comes to the sideline, replaced by Burkett, and he'll split out to Messina's left. Crawford by himself to the right, but it's I formation behind Messina.
This is old school football, pro I.
And Messina play action. The lefties wants to throw. He's got to believe that's Kemmerer out in the flats.
Jimmy Messina's pass.
He'll be hit first by Clokas, second by Belichick. He's going to be short of the first down, but down to the 5.
Number 15.
Yeah, Clokas slowed him up. Belichick
Clokas
put a shot on him, hit him right in the chest and knocked him out of bounds, but Kemmerer popped up quick. And again, really good coverage there by the Red Tornadoes in the secondary. Kemmerer came out of the backfield, a little waggle route, fullback waggle coming out there. That's, he said, this is like old school football, Jim. I like to see it.
Crawford and Delaney locked up the field side, but it's Messina to Banks, and he slips. He lost his footing, but a lot of people would do that with Belichick and Kimsel bearing down on them, so it's going to bring up 4th down. And this Red Tornado defense really had an impact on 4th and short inside the red zone last week, Dan. They'll try to do it again here.
Yeah, we'll see. There's a pretty big substitutions here, Jim. We'll see. I mean, Messina's still in the game, but Messina is the holder.
Yep.
So
but I do see
that they're going to kick this.
Yeah, Gavin Hawley heads in, number 5.
Yep.
And he is the kicker, so the Warriors are going to come out and try to catch a 3-0 lead on the Red Tornadoes with a 22-yard field goal attempt here from Hawley.
And this is a tough one, Jim. Right hash, you know, kind of buried deep in the red zone. He's going to have to put some bite on this.
It's a good snap, it's a good hold, and it's a good kick. Nice job by Hawley, and it's 3-0 Warriors.
Yeah, that's a great kick, and that's Jim. You know, we talked about it last week. The Red Tornadoes, a 1-point victor against the Southern Columbia area Tigers, who were in a similar situation late in the game against the Red Tornadoes, and they just weren't able to get that kick up and through the uprights, which, you know, could have been the deciding factor in that game. So seeing how tough the Red Tornadoes were in that red zone defense last week, knowing that, hey, if we get down here, we're able to get points no matter what. You know, we don't have to roll the dice and go for a 4th down every time. We can get 3 and be content with that. Good job by the Montoursville coaching staff, putting an exclamation point on the end of that drive and getting points on the board.
It is interesting. It's just another kind of evolution of the game of football here at the high school level, to just see so many teams comfortable kicking that field goal, and the idea, you know, that you'd rather kick a 22-yard field goal than try to pick up 3 yards. Again, it's the right call. It works. You trust your guy, but it's just not something that had been common, you know, for a long time.
You're right, Jim. It's definitely not common, and we're not used to seeing it, but that shows the respect that the teams have of this Red Tornado defense.
Karicki takes the ball at the 10-yard line. He's got some space, and it looks like the turf monster might have got him a little bit as well, but a good return nevertheless outside across the 30.
Number 21.
I think they're going to mark him at the 34.
Return to the kickoff, brought down by number 1, James Williams.
Yeah, we see this.
First and 10, Mount Carmel.
And now, we mentioned it before. You see number 21, Cooper Karicki, in the backfield here with for the Red Tornadoes to start things off. You know, going to be keeping an eye on where number 24 is on the sideline. But for right now, you got 21 in the backfield there, who's currently the Red Tornadoes' leading rusher, and looking to bounce back after having a tough game last week.
Marshall sends Bailey in motion to the trip side, and he's going to keep it himself. He's going to be slammed to the turf. A good lateral movement there by Kleinman and number 75.
Brought down by number 2,
Rakestraw.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a traditional read option or if that's just designed that Marshall is going to keep that all the way. But the defensive end and the outside linebacker on that side stayed home, and they were there for the keeper from Marshall.
Marshall to throw. He's got Delaney on a quick out. Delaney loses the first tackler, picking up the first down. So a nice job there on the first time Marshall puts the ball in the air.
And the first time Marshall puts the ball in the air to none other than number 6, Jalen Delaney. I mean, that's his favorite target, I'd say, by far. Delaney, 36 catches. The next closest one is Chase Belichick with 9 coming into this game.
Delaney had 178 last week versus Southern Columbia, including a big touchdown.
Yep.
178 is good enough for the 7th best single game performance here at Mount Carmel, and it's Kricky off the right side for about 7.
Yeah, Kricky makes a really good first cut there right after he gets the handoff. Looked like Shimko kind of was in a wrestling match with his defensive lineman there and just was able to block him out, which forced Kricky inside, but he made the right cut, made a nice gain.
Marshall gets Delaney again, who will run through a tackle and another for another Red Tornado first down inside the 40.
Another just really good job. And you know, Jim, something I noticed looking at the Warriors offense on film, they're just like the Red Tornadoes. They are content to take these 3-4 yard outs and just run their defense or run their offense like that. It's an extension of the run game.
That time the Warriors were a little more prepared for that kind of swing out to Delaney. Yeah. It looked like Burkett makes the stop after only a yard.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that having, you know, the prowess of Cooper Kricky in the backfield with how well he's done this year is the play fakes. You know, just the little play action is enough to kind of hold those inside linebackers from getting outside to the flat, and you're able to get those quick outs. With that quick bubble screen, there's no action in the backfield. They're sprinting out immediately.
There we get a completion to Tate Adams. Now Adams has some space down the sideline. He steps out of bounds maybe a little bit earlier than he intended to.
Yeah.
But still, nevertheless, another Red Tornado first down to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, and the Red Tornado offense looks good so far here on this first drive. They are humming. They were moving the ball with ease so far down the field.
Again, a good clean pocket for Marshall, provided by that offensive line. And there's a little motion there, and Kricky loses his footing again as he tries to plant. Took a little shot there on the way down. Pick up maybe 3.
Yeah, Jimmy, think about it. The last 3 weeks, the Red Tornadoes have been playing on grass. Home, Mifflinburg, home. You're playing on natural grass. So then you come here and you're playing on the artificial turf. It takes a little bit to get your footing and kind of figure get your sea legs.
It's a high snap to Marshall. He pulls it down. It's a handoff to Kricky right up the gut to the 15. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3.
I think this might be the first Red Tornado 3rd down, or second one of the drive, but first one of this short yardage here.
And that one's out to Delaney. It's going to be right at the stick. I think it's going to be about a yard short.
Just short.
And that ball got on Delaney quick. He barely had his head around, but did a good job of catching the football and hanging on.
It had to get on him quick because the defender on that side was bearing down on Delaney and hit him pretty much immediately.
Now the Red Tornadoes have a substitution here for a little bigger package. Adams will head to the sideline. Kricky comes in, and the Red Tornadoes get real tight. 4th and a yard. Marshall, and he didn't have the initial push, but I do think he gets there on the second effort.
Yeah, he was stood up initially, but I think you're right, Jim. That second effort's gonna definitely give the Red Tornadoes a first down here. We'll see now if they stick with this big package here, now deep in the red zone.
4:01 remaining in the first quarter here at tonight's broadcast, sponsored by Hirsch Family Dentistry. 3-0 Montoursville, but the Red Tornadoes knocking on the door. Marshalik to Karicki. Let's see who gets up off the bottom of that pile. That's 54, Kingston Fisher on the stop, and the Warriors get wise to that action, Dan.
Yeah, that's a really good job by Fisher. He just came from where the motion was and stayed down the line. He didn't over pursue upfield. Stayed down the line, didn't give Karicki anywhere to go.
Ends up being a loss of a yard, so on 2nd and 11, they hand it to Delaney this time, and he weasels his way up the middle for a touchdown. It's that inside Sally handoff, so Delaney catches him. He can run it in 2. Touchdown, Big Red, 12 yards from Delaney.
Yeah, Jim, and that's that inside Sally that, you know, we've talked about over the years. So many, you know, kind of quick, really skilled runners for the Red Tornadoes have made their bones on, and that, you know, it was Xavier Diaz for the last few years. And Delaney kind of filled that Diaz position in the passing game. We were wondering when Coach Dara was going to, you know, tighten things up and let him take that chance in the run game, and there it was, and it proved to work out well.
Choppy's kick is up and good. So 7-3 Red Tornadoes early on here in the first quarter. And you know, one thing as the Red Tornadoes get set to kick, and when we had Karicki return, Karicki run back, looked like he had some space, and it had me thinking about some great returners in Mount Carmel history.
Yeah.
And so one of the greatest to ever do it, I think, is Bobby Zavaric here at Mount Carmel, right?
Yeah.
And so the cool news is we talk about Supper Club a lot. Supper Club is every Thursday evening at Matucci's now. I want to thank the Knights of Columbus for their support the first couple weeks.
Yep.
But it's at Matucci's now, so it's Thursday evenings. You might know the official start time is always 6:30, but you really don't want to wait till 6:30. The crowds are huge, as you'd expect. So the doors will open at 5:45. You want to get there as soon as the doors open. In Supper Club, you know, we talk about it. They feature current members of the football team, the cheerleaders, the band, the TV studio. You have that, but there's also sometimes you get special guests.
Yeah.
And the special guest for this coming week, so not yesterday, but next coming, the day before the Hughesville game, is Bobby Zavaric.
Wow.
Bobby Zavaric's going to be there, so that's pretty cool.
Red Tornado royalty.
He returned 8 kicks for touchdowns in his career. Punts and kickoffs, and 2 kickoffs in the same game versus Berwick in 1976. The other thing at Supper Club, there is a game-worn, just a jersey signed by Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
Donated by one of Mount Carmel's favorite sons, Brett Veach.
Yes.
He helped provide that for us. So you can buy tickets for that at Supper Club or at any home games. This is Williams from the 9, and oh my goodness. Morgani got him before he got to the 15. I guess they'll say the 16, but I don't know. Morgani got there quick.
Yeah, Morgani was down there real quick, Jim. And you know, we talked about Ezekiel Noel being in on that first kickoff tackle. They sent a double team at Ezekiel Noel on this kick return, but I think that kind of left the door open for Morgani, who just knifed his way through and just continues to make an impact, not only on the defense side of the ball, but special teams as well. Morgani's been a huge special teams player over the past year and a half.
So we'll see how the Warriors respond with a 4-wide set. Messina in the shotgun. He brings Burkett in motion to the trip side. He's going to roll that way as the lefty. It's his strong side, and he floats it, and it's, oh my goodness, it's through Morganti's outstretched arm. He just got one up, but the target on the play, I think that was Reeder, almost caught it from the turf.
Yeah, and Jim, I mean, Morgani does such a good job driving on that football. He almost got underneath and was able to take it the other way for 6 because there was nobody in front of him. But just a really great job out there in coverage. He kind of, you know, those flood patterns, it seems like that's what the Warriors are content to run. They're flood patterns. 2 or 3 guys out heading towards the sideline, just kind of splitting the Red Tornadoes defense. They're finding a lot of openings.
They didn't find one that time on the ground. That was Banks, but Banks met Mr. Karicki. And you're not going to get too much further than the 16-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and again, you know, this Red Tornado defense feeling a little bit of energy after the good drive and the extended drive. The Red Tornadoes took some time off the clock with that drive. They gave their defense a little bit of time to breathe before putting those points on the board on their first drive on offense, and that's kind of breathed some life into this Red Tornado defense.
Red Tornadoes make some changes there to get a little more defensive in the backfield. Content to let their front guys get after Messina here on an obvious passing down. He rolls to his left. He throws a rocket. Look for Crawford. Incomplete. Delaney was in good coverage, and it's 4th down.
Jim, Delaney was in very good coverage, but that was a good, I mean, that's a rocket from Messina. That lefty rolling to the left side gets that out. It's just a little bit too high, but I mean, realistically, Crawford got to the sticks and had an opportunity to bring that ball in.
Yep. So on 4th and 10 here, again, the Red Tornadoes lead 7-3, 2:19 left in the first quarter. We'll see Banks punt for the first time tonight. Kimsel and Delaney back deep.
And you don't think there's going to be any funny business this deep in your own area, but you got to remember Banks is the leading rusher for the Warriors, so at some point, if he's back there to punt, you always got to be leery of a fake.
It's a good knuckleball punt. Kimsel takes it right at the 50. He's going to get up to about the 40-yard line, so good starting field position for Mount Carmel.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get when you're able to, you know, have a good kick coverage and then a quick 3 and out. You know, that Banks was punting out of the shadow of his own end zone, and now the Red Tornadoes starting their second drive of the night in Warrior territory already.
Again, that Red Tornado offensive line, we've talked about him. That's left to right. It's Delaney, Spears, Demko, Shiganowski, and Shimko.
Yep.
They've done a great job of keeping Marshalik's jersey clean most of the season. And again, opening up holes for the likes of Kricky, Kimsel, and others. But this time, Marshalik's. This one's to Belichick, who gets a good kick block from Delaney and gets about 6 down to the 34.
Yeah, that's a really good job from Delaney. It doesn't you know, it's not a huge impact block, but that's a chip block, and it's just enough to spring Belichick, you know, with that inside release.
Have an official timeout here on the field. Going to send Belichick to the sideline. Again, we've seen a lot more of this from officials this season.
Yeah.
Looked like just an equipment issue for Belichick.
Yep.
Jersey untucked, maybe jersey ripped.
With Belichick going out, you got Kricky coming in. No change, though, in the offensive set.
That's Blessing into the defense for the first time. We got so caught up in the Belichick situation. We missed 24 sneaking his way in there, Dan.
Yeah, we did. And now we got 3rd and short. I mean, this is, and again, it's just kind of seeing what capacity they're going to be using Blessing in. This is usually where Blessing has made his money. 3rd and short yardage situations. He's your guy.
Marshall uses the hard count, tries to get a little movement. Warriors don't bite. Belichick's back in there for this one. He's in a twin set with Delaney. Adams by himself to the field side. And Marshalik's going to throw, and he looks for Bailey, but Bailey's upended. A great play made. I believe is that Banks?
I think so, Jim.
Waiting for him to turn so I can,
yes,
yeah, it's
Banks.
So on 3rd and 1, the Red Tornadoes throw a little flood pass to Bailey for no gain.
Yeah, and that got out of Marshalik's hands so quick, but that's just a really good job from that inside linebacker spot where Banks is playing at, just getting out there and moving laterally and able to stop that for no gain.
Heavy set from Big Red here, and it's Blessing, and Blessing's gonna run through 1 tackle. He's gonna run through 2 and 3, and now Blessing, can he get in? He's gonna be slammed down at the 5, but it did not take long for Luke Blessing to remind you of exactly who he is and what he brings to the table.
No, Jim, and
number 24,
I mean, that's,
Luke Blessing with the carry, brought down by.
So we want to talk about how phenomenal the run was for Blessing, as we see Blessing slowly heading off the field.
From the 4-yard line.
There's a Warrior down on the field as well, and I believe that's the two-way star out there, Christian Banks, number 0.
So Banks is 10-2 again. Blessing will be 10-2 on the Red Tornado sideline. But again, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, Hirsch Family Dentistry, and remind you of Supper Club Thursday evenings at Matucci's. You got to get there or to the home game next week versus Hughesville to buy some tickets for a signed Travis Kelce jersey provided by our good friend, Mr. Brett Veach. Banks will walk off under his own power, albeit gingerly, but under his own power, which is great to see. When we resume play here, we've got 16 seconds left in the first quarter. The Red Tornadoes lead 7-3. They've got 1st and goal from the 4 on the big run by Blessing on 4th and a foot.
Yes. Yeah, huge run by Blessing there. And again, you talked about it, briefly, and then, you get to see just what Blessing brings to this offense.
And it's Delaney again on that inside sally, but the Warriors are ready.
Yeah.
And so they're going to stop the Red Tornadoes short on 1st down, but that's the end of the first quarter here at Memorial Stadium in Montoursville. It's Mount Carmel 7, Montoursville 3.
Yeah, Jim, the Warriors defense said, fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled again. That's a really good job defending that inside sally play that, they didn't appear to be prepared for on the first drive. You know what I mean? So the Red Tornadoes, they run it again. And this time there's multiple Warriors in the area just stopping that up. There's no cutback lane for Delaney. It looked like he kind of hesitated a little bit trying to find an alley, and there was just nothing there.
So again, we'll start the second quarter here. Another interesting kind of injury tidbit. So coming out of week 1, the Red Tornadoes went into week 2 without Blessing, and they went into week 2 without number 55, Logan Erb.
Yes.
Right? Bumps, right?
Yep.
Bumps came back last week. But interestingly enough, he's only playing defense right now.
Yeah.
Now, some of that I think could have been, again, I'm assuming now things, right? But the offensive line had done a pretty solid job of holding up in his absence.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Coach Dara had preached for years that he wants as many guys to go only one way as possible.
One way, yep.
And so to have a kid like Bumps to be able to be fresh and healthy on that defensive side is huge.
Oh, yeah.
For the Big Red.
Absolutely. It is such a significant thing to be able to have that luxury of just getting your guys a break. I mean, for so long, every high school team, your best players are playing 2 ways. And you've got enough talent to be able to say, we don't have to do that.
Number 21.
2nd and goal from the 6 to hand off is to Cricky right up the middle.
Stop by the
He'll
middle
get,
of the
looks like they're going to give him maybe 2 down to the 4.
Jim, I'm curious here. You see, obviously the Red Tornadoes going tight. They're in that shotgun double wing down here deep in the Warriors' red zone. I'd like to see them maybe do a little. They're going to open things up, so that makes it a little bit more likely. Let's see like a pop pass to the tight end. You don't really see that anymore. It's a stick route.
Well, Cricky's done everything else for the Red Tornadoes. But there it's a back shoulder throw for Belichick. Good coverage out there by the Warriors with the ball just outside of Belichick's reach.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good job. And you see the Red Tornado kick team head out there. I think this is a good position to do it, Jim. You're in the center of the field, you know what I mean? This is going to be essentially an extra point for Shoppy, and he's been pretty automatic throughout the season so far.
Well, again, we talk about it a lot, but that's stuff that's happening at the highest level of football in the NFL that you see trickle down.
Yeah.
If you were watching, as Shoppy's going to line up for, this is going to be, what, a 30-yard field goal. Excuse me, 20-yard field goal. It's a low snap, but Adams does a good job grabbing it and getting it up. And Shoppy does the rest, drills it through. 10-3 Red Tornadoes. But Dan, if you were watching the the Patriots-Jets game last night, and I think I've seen Bill Belichick talk about it in the last couple weeks as well.
Yeah.
About in the NFL right now, if you cross midfield, you're in range for some of these kickers.
Absolutely.
And I think at one point, with the exception prior to last night, I think NFL kickers were 34 of 36 from 50 plus for the first 2 weeks of the season.
Well, that's
and both of those misses were Justin Tucker, so it makes sense of that.
Well, yeah, that's I saw a stat last night, and I don't quote me because the numbers are going to be inaccurate. But I think there's been more points scored on field goals made throughout the first 2 weeks of the NFL season there have been on touchdowns scored. If that makes sense. Like I said, don't quote me on that. I have to fact check, but it was something along those lines of essentially it's becoming a kicker's game. It really is. With how good defenses are and how how talented kickers are. Like you said, they're always in range if you have a decent enough kicker.
Reeder and Williams back deep again for the Warriors. Again, and that right leg of Shoppy has been the difference the last couple weeks for the Big Red.
So it has been. Yeah, two weeks in a row. The field goal against Mifflinburg and then the extra point against Southern Columbia. The difference in those previous 2 wins for the Red Tornadoes.
Good end over end kick for Shoppy. Reeder will take it at the 9. Try to get the edge. There's nowhere to go. It's Kimsel and Miller.
Number 25, Michael Reeder with a return.
Yeah, that's a really good job by the Red Tornado kickoff team. Just kind of pressing. Once they saw Reeder just opted to go to the sideline, there really wasn't any going back from that for Reeder, and they did a good job of closing the gate and making a nice tackle.
We said Miller's the leading tackler on that Red Tornado defense, so if you run into him on a kick return, that's pretty much where the kick return is going to stop.
Yeah.
Ball's at the 22 for the Warriors. Still down just to score. 10-3. Handoff up the middle to Harvey. Give him a yard maybe to the 23.
Yeah, he just runs directly into Clokus, who just got a clear read. There's a block down, there's a kick out. Clokus steps up from his linebacker position, and the running back ran directly into his chest. So really good job there by Clokus, just, doing the simple things. Make your read as a linebacker, and you're going to make tackles at the line of scrimmage all day long.
Watching the sideline here, Christian Banks just put his helmet back on, so we'll see if he is in on the next play for the Warriors. But Messina's going to roll to his right. And remember, he's got a lefty, so he's got to set his feet. And he throws it across his body. It's a great throw into great coverage by Kimsel, and a phenomenal job by Kleinman hanging on to that football.
Yeah, I mean, Kleinman does a great job. That's his. There were 3 hands on that football when Kleinman caught it, and only 2 of them were his. I hope. But that's just really great defense by the Red Tornadoes, but just an even better execution. Messina getting his feet set and getting that accurate pass out there to Kleinman, and Kleinman hauling that one in.
Yeah, being able to throw that on the run, it was what we had talked about. It was Bumps was running him down from the inside.
Yeah.
Preventing Messina from setting his feet, but he really delivered that ball across his body. And it's Harvey again, and he's got some space. Now he's got the corner. He's got to outrun Delaney. He's not going to be able to do it. A touchdown-saving tackle by number 6, Jaden Delaney. But a big gain for the Warriors inside Red Tornado territory, down to the 35.
Yeah, Jim, that's a huge gain there for the Warriors. And again, I mean, you essentially flip the field at this point. Now you're in Red Tornado territory, and you're threatening. So we'll see how the Red Tornado defense decides to adjust here.
It's 4 wide set for the Warriors. It's still Harvey in the backfield with Messina. Burkett comes in motion across the formation. Messina under pressure immediately, and he throws a really good ball for Reeder, but good coverage by Belichick.
Yeah, that's very well defended by Belichick.
But now there's a flag in the backfield, so Messina got hit, and it's going to be roughing the passer. I didn't see the context of the contact, but I know he took a shot.
Yeah, but I mean, he was under pressure immediately.
Yeah.
So really, just thinking that he's not going to get hit on that in that situation at all is kind of a crazy thought. But like you said, also was looking downfield at the coverage in the defensive backfield there. Didn't see the nature of the hit that he took, but we do see number 0, Christian Banks, back in there in the backfield.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 after the personal fouls walked off, and it'll be Banks off the right side. It'll be dropped by Kimsel after a gain of a couple.
Number 4,
yeah, nice initial move and the spin there by Banks, but Kimsel continues to do a really good job coming from that third level of the defense, that safety spot, and coming downhill and making good tackles. Helping out in the run game from the secondary is a huge factor into, 1, why Kimsel's one of the leading tacklers on the team, and 2, why it's so hard for teams to run against this Red Tornado defense.
High snap, Messina to throw. He looks immediately, he's under pressure, and he's going to be dragged down by Karicki, who continues his tear of the last couple weeks from that nose guard spot.
Yeah, I mean, last week, Karicki had 13 tackles, 1 sack, 2 hurries, 3 tackles for loss last week.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, from that nose guard position, but none bigger. The 1 sack that Karicki had was on the 4th down that the Tigers had that pretty much sealed the deal for the Red Tornadoes to take that victory home. So, I mean, none bigger than that play there last week. And again, here, now putting the Warriors behind the sticks and looking at a 3rd and very long on that big sack.
3rd and 15 from the 25. The Red Tornadoes come at the Warriors, but the ball is out, and it's picked up. It was completed the climb, and he's hit by Delaney. The ball pops out, and I believe it's Belichick that scoops it up off the turf.
Yeah.
And it's 1st and 10, Big Red, at their own 24-yard line.
Yeah, wow. I mean, talk about a change of events there. Just wow. Messina lucky to get that ball out, him, to see if there's going to be a flag thrown. So I didn't see Climate haul that pass in. But then he fumbles. The Red Tornadoes turn it over. And that was going to be a 4th down no matter what for the Warriors. But we saw the kicker earlier in the game. Like, they would have had an opportunity to put another 3 points on the board had they retained possession.
Marshalik gets it out to Lukuski, but the Warriors are ready for that the whole way. Now, the snap to Marshalik was high.
Yes.
Could have thrown off some of the timing, but my goodness, what a play by Harvey.
Yeah, I mean, that play seemed to be doomed from the beginning. The very high snap, I mean, Marshalik showed the athleticism, getting up in the air to pull that one down. But like you said, that Harvey can't take anything away from him. He did a really good job. He saw the flare pattern coming. He got inside of the blocker and made a really nice tackle. Credit to Lukoski just holding on to that football, because that would have been a fumble.
As much as we talked about guys going one way, you see Bumps is in there. Herb at the left guard spot. And Karicki tries to go off the right side, and he runs into the back of a blocker. He gets upended for a short gain. So it's going to be, actually they're going to say no gain. So it's going to be third and about 17, Dan.
Yeah, this is a third and long here. So, I mean, nothing. The Warriors unfortunately turned the ball over 3 plays ago, but they're in good position right now to get a quick stop and kind of slow some of this Red Tornado momentum.
Marshalik under pressure immediately, and there's the flag.
No flag, Jim.
No flag. Okay, Marshalik got ridden into the ground on that one, but the ball falls incomplete, and the Red Tornadoes are going to be forced to punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and again, great job, though, Jim, by Marshalik. He knew where his receiver was. He didn't, there was no intentional grounding there. Surprised not to see a flag for the driving him into the ground after he got rid of the ball pretty quickly. But you're not going to get them all. But now we'll see Karicki punting deep out of his own territory.
Number 9, Braden Burkett.
It's a good punt. It's going to take a good roll for the Big Red. Karicki's punt will be down by Belichick at the 40. It'll be 1st and 10 Warriors from there. They trail 10-3 with 6:24 left in the first half.
Yeah, and again, Jim, we've talked about it. This has been a pretty swift first half. This game has been moving pretty quickly here. But this is what you're going to get. You get two teams that run the ball well, throw a lot of short passes, not a whole lot of incompletions, and it's a hard-fought football game now. You got the Warriors back with the ball again with possession, and an opportunity to go down and try to tie this thing up before the half.
Come out in an I formation. Kemmerer is the fullback. Dan, does he have a neck roll on? Because that's a fullback for you.
Yes.
It'll be a handoff to Banks behind him for no gain, but
number 2, Matthew Belichick.
yeah, Kemmerer, he looks like an old school fullback.
Yes,
man.
he does. I think the last time we've seen anyone wear a neck roll was Manus McCracken for the Red Tornadoes. It's been a little while.
Morgantian out there on the corner. Give Delaney a blow. And otherwise, it's all the same for the Big Red defensively. So two receivers in a stack to the right.
Only one defender over there with him.
And Messina, it's a strike. And now, there's the whistle. So the ball was for Crawford, who took a shot from Morgani and it popped out. Clokus scooped it on a Sunday hop and thought he had 6 going the other way, but it's ruled incomplete.
And I thought so too, Jim. But that was very, very quick. The completion and the contact came simultaneously. And a really good job there, though, by Morgani. He had to cover essentially 2 guys off the ball there. I'm surprised that Messina didn't go to the seam route, but he went for the underneath guy, and Morgani made him pay for it.
3rd and 10 now. Again, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Banks in the backfield with Messina. Messina's going to roll to his right under pressure. He throws it out for Reeder, who's wide open. Has a catch and past the sticks. First down. We'll say he went out of bounds at the 45.
Yeah, that's a big first down conversion there for the Warriors. And Messina, under a lot of pressure, had Kimsel bearing down on him from the backside. I don't think he knew he was there. I didn't think he knew he was coming, but good job by Kimsel. Messina got the ball out, and Kimsel kind of let up a little bit. But we'll see now. The Warriors just seem to have answers on these 3rd downs. Looking very, very potent in this passing game.
It's Banks. And he's still on his feet. Good run by Banks. It'll be Clokus on the tackle. But Banks ran through the initial wave of defenders, got through some arm tackles, and picked up a first down.
Yeah, and it helps. It allows you to be potent in the passing game when you're able to kind of counter it with runs like that. So that's a really good job by Banks there. Like you said, kind of made a few guys miss at the initial line of scrimmage there, and then turned that into a first down.
Crawford and Reeder to the right. That's Williams and Burkett to the left. Harvey in the backfield as Burkett comes across the formation. And it's Messina. Oh, he hands it off to Harvey, who's just tripped up by Belichick, or else that might have been 6.
I think that one was definitely destined for the end zone had Belichick not gotten the ankle there of Harvey. So really good job there by Belichick. But again, just another really nice run play there by the Warriors.
So we didn't pick up the first, so it's 2nd and inches.
Surprise. I thought maybe we get a measurement there or something.
I think we're already over our quota for measurements on the season.
Yeah.
Harvey's not going to get much, but he'll get enough to make sure we don't need a measurement. It'll be 1st and 10 Warriors.
That is accurate.
Brought down by number 9.
Now we'll see, Jim. Now, the Red Tornadoes, you have to think that Coach Darris keeping an eye on that clock. Montoursville, they're huddling. They're taking their time up to the ball. They're trying to be, if not the last team with the ball in this half, at least the last team to score.
Ball just inside the 20 at the 19. Messina to throw. He's got Banks in the flat. But a good open field tackle made by Miller for a gain of about 8.
A tough open field tackle made by Ben Miller. Really good job, just, you know, body control. He was about to fly by Banks when Banks put the brakes on, but just threw his arms out there, got a hold of the shoulder pads, and ripped Banks down. That's strength and body control, and that's just the veteran prowess.
Well, I think you
mentioned how
mentioned,
you become the leading tackler.
You mentioned before, Dan, about what are the Warriors doing here with the clock. This Red Tornado defense has experience being on the field a lot the last couple weeks.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So their conditioning's not an issue for them. As it's Banks up the middle for a touchdown. 10-9 now. Thanks to Banks' 12-yard touchdown run at the 3:09 mark of the second quarter.
Yeah, that's a tough one there for the Red Tornadoes. That's a 60-yard drive there that the Warriors put together after a really, really strong defensive stand. So the Red Tornadoes now with Banks scoring, with plenty of time left on the clock. Red Tornadoes have all 3 of their timeouts. There's a ton of time left to go down there and try to put another score on the board. But you know, feel a lot of the momentum over here on this Warriors side of the field at this point after the defensive stop and then the score.
The extra point is good with 3 minutes and 9 seconds remaining.
Hawley's kick is good, and it's 10-10.
Montoursville 10, Mount Carmel 10.
You know, it's a nice facility here up in Montoursville. We're up on top of the press box, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we tend to enjoy the Silver Bowl a little bit. We'll be back there next week. You should be too. But if you go to the Silver Bowl and you see in that south end zone where the creature bleachers used to be, there is the Red Tornado Legacy Brick Project, right? We talk about it a lot. Brick order forms are due October 1st. Remember, there's 2 different size bricks you can get. You can get kind of like a traditional 4x6 brick or a 12-inch by 12-inch block. You can get those engraved. You can cheer on the Big Red. You put your family, your graduation years. It's kind of as creative as you can get, right? It's your oyster in that front. But the way you order those bricks is you go over to redtornadofootball.com. You're going to scroll down past Dan and I. You'll see on the right side the link to the brick order form. Fill that out, and again, get those orders in before October 1st so that they can get the bricks ordered, engraved, and in the ground before it gets too cold, before the snow flies. If you can't get them by October 1st, you're probably going to have to wait until the spring. And who wants to wait until the spring? Get them in while you can. Brick orders October 1st. Kickoff out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 Big Red.
And we'll see what the Red Tornadoes decide to do here, Jim. They've got a lot of spark in that kick return area, and it looks like Coach Dyer is going to make them re-kick.
Yep, you're right, Dan. And I kind of got out in front of myself because Marshall and company were making their way onto the field, and you just kind of saw them turn around and head back.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, listen, we've seen Cooper Karicki with some of the most electrifying runs you're ever going to see. And we've seen Kimsel, who already has, I believe, 2 return touchdowns on the season. So why not give those guys another opportunity, 5 yards closer to pay dirt?
And if you like kick return touchdowns, don't forget to be at Supper Club Thursday night to listen to Bobby Zavaric and ask him about the old 1976 season.
Yeah.
So that'll move the ball back to the 35. Kimsel and Karicki will stand around the 20-yard line. Hawley will line up his kick. Again, 10-10 here in Montoursville. 3 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first half.
Hawley looks like he's going to be angling this one to the Warriors sideline.
It's a line drive. Kimsel snags it with one hand. He's going to try to come up the side. Now he's going to cut back across, and he's got an alley. He's just tripped up.
Number 4, Michael.
I believe that's 25 Reeder that trips him up, but
yeah.
My goodness, there's a word for where I think Kimsel was about to go.
Yeah. Where's that, Jim?
If you don't know, I can't tell you.
Oh.
Dan, he was getting up in that briar patch.
Oh, he was up in that briar patch. He was in there.
He just,
one of them thorns got him that time, but a really good return. And again, Coach Dyer, we talked about it, I think 2 weeks ago against Mifflinburg, that a lot of times you take that 5 yard and the re-kick, it doesn't pay out for you. This time, Coach Dyer ends up 10 yards to the good, starting at the 45 rather than the 35. So he makes the right decision there.
We see Cricky with a burst
Number
out to the 47, and he ran right behind where Herb opened up a hole there. So again, we talked about having Herb on that offensive line.
Yeah.
And it's showing itself right away.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Rakestraw, that defensive line. You know, defensive line is making a tackle 8 yards downfield. It's a pretty good pursuit.
It's Cricky again, and man, he has an ability to get skinny.
Yes.
And get through that interior defense, that initial line of defenders for a first down at the 41.
And that's exactly what it is, Jim. He keeps that two hands on the football through that initial line, and he like contorts his body to get through those, just the smallest of creases, and that's all he needs, and that's why he's so electric. He can be in a pile, and you'll see him come out the other side.
Oh, that time he got caught from behind.
Yeah, that was Moorhart from the Warriors, just like, right up around the neck area there. Slowed him down.
Well, now when there was a good push there, you saw Sheganowski, the right guard, kind of took a step back. He pulled a little bit and was heading upfield.
Yeah.
But Cricky gets caught from behind, which is not something that usually happens to him.
No, very rare that happens.
And if it's going to happen, it really only happens when the first yard or two is scrimmage. If he gets out in the open, there aren't too many that can catch them. And a good run by Cricky again inside the 35 as the clock continues to tick, as Dan points out.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes got to, you know, very content. You're moving the ball. You're moving the ball well, but got to start paying attention to that clock. The clock's starting to work against you. It's another first down. 3rd and 4, give back to Cricky. You dance with who brung you, right? Stick with what works. Yeah, I mean, realistically, Jim, we might see Cricky get more carries on this drive than he had all last week. See, he's probably already got 5-6 carries here just on this drive. He only had 13 last week. You know, it was a defensive battle last week. But like you said, you got to dance with who brung you. That's Cooper Cricky up to this point on this drive.
Clock stopped to reset after the first down, but we're under a minute now. And Marshall's pass is out to Delaney, who gets through one tackler, but gets hit from behind by Banks.
Yeah.
Down to the 22, 23-yard line. And Coach Dara is going to use his first time out of the half with 47 and change on the clock.
Yeah, Jim, Banks looked like he was shot out of a cannon, just pursuing from that linebacker spot. And when Delaney made his cut inside, Banks was coming from the inside and hit him from behind. Put a big hit on him, but great job by Delaney. We talk about it all the time. He's quick, he's shifty, he's dynamic, but he's not very big. He took a big hit there, but did a fantastic job just, you know, handling it. He popped right back up, got the ball to the ref, and was ready to go again. And Coach Dara used that first time out.
2nd and 4. Ball right around the 23-yard line. Again, this drive has been mostly Cricky.
Montoursville Kiwanis invite you to attend the 2024 Montoursville Fall Festival.
Now, I was going to say, this seemed like a long time out.
Yeah.
Games, children's activities, music from
Officials
local
finally
bands,
break
and
it up.
fireworks on Saturday. Stop by and support.
I'd like to see Coach Dara using that one there. Can't take him with you.
And we hope to see you there.
Adams and Delaney to the left, Blitchick to the right. But it's Kimsel riding sidecar with Marshalluk in the backfield. It's Kimsel again off that left side, nowhere to go.
Cooper Cricky with the carry.
Yeah, just running that one right into the line here. We'll see.
Brought down by
Not really sure what the
74, Hunter Schaefer.
Cricky again.
Kimsel one. I like you saying
Cooper Cricky, the ball carrier, stopped by number 0, Christian Beck.
So now the Red Turtles have to take a timeout. It's 4th and 4. After, again, Cricky got the ball all the way down the field. For some reason, I couldn't get Kimsel's name out of my mouth for a second there. Both of those carries were Cricky. And now it's 4th and about 4.
It's a little curious there. I understand you get your timeout, you send 2 plays in, but there are 2 runs into the line of scrimmage. when the time's working against you. I'm not entirely sure the call there. If the Red Tornadoes, I mean, it seems like at this point, after moving the ball down the field pretty well, they might be content to take this into the half. I'm not sure.
Yeah, interesting. It's see what the Red Tornadoes opt to do here. I mean, it's...
Well, they're not going to kick it.
No.
It does not appear that they're going to kick. I thought, you've got a 4th down here. You're going to end up giving this ball back to the Warriors if you can't convert here.
Well, you have to think they're going to let Marshall throw it. I like Belichick on one of those stick routes.
He is in single coverage down here, and now we got a Warrior timeout. Belichick was a little upset.
I was going to say, I don't think Coach Hanna didn't like the look, but Belichick did.
Yeah.
Belichick liked what he had. It almost looked like he and Coach Hanna were maybe having a little bit of fun there.
Yeah, it did appear so. Belichick liked that one-on-one coverage, and I don't know if Belichick might have tipped his hand a little bit there and said, hey, this play was coming to me.
Right.
This was going to be my shot here. I like Belichick in one-on-one coverage. I like our guys. You know, I like our guys. I like Delaney, Belichick, and Adams. Any of them, if you get any of those 3 guys in single coverage, I'm thinking that's where Marshall is going to go with the football here on 4th and 4.
It's going to be the same look from Big Red. Again, that ball's at the 23-yard line, 26 seconds left. And Belichick's going to get his single coverage look again.
You've also got Adams in single coverage on the far side too. So I mean, you've got 2 guys with some height that can go up and get the ball for you.
No cover 2 here. Marshall to throw, and the Red Tornadoes run a tunnel screen to Delaney, and Delaney is going to be
I think he got it.
Short. Touchdown.
He stretched out. Yeah, the ball caused that. The ground caused that ball to come out.
Oh my goodness.
The effort from Delaney to reach that ball, I mean, wow. What a play call. What a tremendous play call by the Red Tornadoes. And I mean, you saw it was set up perfectly. The Warriors were bringing pressure up the middle. You said no cover 2. That was because there was nobody in the middle of the field. So Delaney, just the perfect play call at the perfect time.
Number 42, Robert Shopping.
And the execution, perfection.
Shoppy's kick is up and good. And so the Red Tornadoes will jump out to a 17-10 lead with under 20 seconds remaining in the first half. And Red Tornadoes are going to get the football
to start the second half.
A
little 2-for-1 action there, Jim.
You said it.
We've been looking for one of those all year.
So my goodness, Delaney, like you said, he did a great job of going up to get that football, snatching it out of the sky, and then the individual effort after the catch. But again, the Red Tornadoes set it up very well.
Yeah.
That offensive line moved just when they needed to. Gave a little bit of space there, and
it appeared with Delaney going up to get that ball, there was a slight stumble, which kind of slowed him up enough for some Warrior defenders to get to him and swipe at the ankles in that last effort, though. But just as he's falling down, to the awareness of the young man, the sophomore, to know where he's out on the field and reach that ball out over the goal line is just incredible.
Number 42, Robert Shoppy to kick off for Mount Carmel.
Again, it'll be Reeder and Williams back deep for the Warriors.
Deep for the Warriors, number 1, James Williams, number 25, Michael Reeder.
And that's a play that can take the wind out of a stadium. It sounds a little bit different now than it did just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, Jim, it seems like it has. I mean, as soon as the touchdown signal was signaled, it got eerily quiet in here.
Reeder's going to take that at the 8. And he's going to get upended by Miller.
Number 25, Michael Reeder with the return of the kickoff.
Again, just open field in the thick of it. Doesn't matter if Miller gets his hands on you, you're going down.
Yeah.
So 13 seconds here
from their own 31
at Memorial Stadium. It's 1st and 10 at the 31.
13 seconds and 2 timeouts, Jim. There's not a ton of time, and they're going to just take this one into the half.
Warriors content to take a knee here. It would seem, at least.
Yeah.
With Banks deep. And that's what it'll be. And we'll wait for the clock to run out here at Memorial Stadium, and it will. So it's 17-10 here, Mount Carmel at the half.
Score at the half.
Stay with us. We will be back after the halftime with stats, scores from around the area, and most importantly, the second half action. Stay tuned.
Stands.
I'm here with Chase Pulichik. Chase, what's your number and position?
Number 1, I play wide receiver and safety.
Alrighty, we're gonna get to know you. What's your favorite sport to watch?
My favorite, probably college football.
College football?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Who's your favorite teacher in the school?
Mr. Yarch.
Mr. Yarch?
Yeah.
Great guy.
He's a great guy.
Great guy. Would you rather go camping or go to the beach?
I'd rather go to the beach.
The beach?
Yeah.
You like to get tan?
Yeah.
Go in the water?
Go in the water, yeah.
Great time there.
Great time.
If you could switch lives with any of your teammates for a day, who would it be?
I have no idea.
No idea?
Ow.
Why Al?
I have no idea. He just told me to say him.
Just crazy guy?
Crazy guy.
Alrighty. And then, what's your dream vacation?
Probably Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I would love to go there.
Yeah.
Great place. Thank you, Chase.
Yep.
All right, I'm here with Jalen. Jalen, what's your number and position?
Number 6, and I play receiver and cornerback.
All right, we're going to get to know you. So, what artist are you dying to see in concert?
Probably Drake.
Drake, why's that?
I don't know. He's just a good artist.
Seems like a hype concert to go to. All righty. Wow, what's your Dunkin' order?
Strawberry dragon fruit, lemonade refresher, and a chocolate frosted donut with sprinkles.
Okay, that's a good order. Very good order. What movie could you watch every day?
Draft day.
Draft Day?
Yeah.
All right. That's a good movie. What's your favorite sport to watch?
Ooh. I'd say probably football, but baseball is a close second.
All right. And what is your favorite Disney character?
I don't really watch Disney movies, so if I had to pick, Woody from Toy Story.
Woody, great character, funny character too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jalen.
Yep.
Big band. Next, we will continue the show with the classic Santana tune, Oye Como Va. The show will then close with Earth, Wind, and Fire's hit, September. The band is led on the field by drum majors Madison Smith and Mario Awardi. Color guard captain is Fallon Jacobian. This year's staff includes Chris Steller, director, Luke Darup, assistant director, Bernie Nestico, drum instructor, Joseph Rossi, assistant drum instructor, John Jacoby, assistant to the band director, Jennifer Melnick, color guard instructor, Linda Hawes, assistant color guard instructor, Bernie Steller, Kelly Lucas, Erica Nestico, and Cameron Getty, music and marching instructors. We would like to thank Brett Getty, Matt Steller, the MCA School Board and Administration, and especially the MCA band parents for their continued invaluable support. The band would like to recognize the late Paul Prostamichek, legendary MCA Mounties director, who wrote the brass and woodwind arrangements for portions of our show.
open, and Delaney's got it, and now it's a foot race. Nobody's going to catch number 6.
Drop it.
Keep going!
Also, Reeder Brothers Fuel Service, locally owned and fair prices.
Welcome back to Memorial Stadium, where after one half of play, the Red Tornadoes lead the Montoursville Warriors 17-10 in this District 4 Heartland Athletic Conference Division II matchup. Now, as always, we're happy to talk through kind of the first half. Importantly, fortunately for us, I should say, we got some stats from our good friend Jose. So, Dan, you want to go through and walk the good people through those?
Yeah, so we'll start with the Red Tornadoes. 19 rushing attempts, 85 yards on the ground, 10 of 12 passing from Marshalik, 67 yards, 9 first downs. That's 17 points up there on the board. Now we'll look at the Warriors. 17 rushing attempts, 113 yards, 6 of 10 passing for 62 yards, and 11 first downs, and that 10 points on the board. So I think this is going to be another half of football where the Red Tornadoes were outgained.
Yeah.
They lost the time of possession, and they've still come out on top as the team in the lead. So it's been an interesting brand of football that the Red Tornadoes have been playing, but it's been working for them.
Yeah, very interesting. You're right about being outgained. That was the first thing that jumped out at me. 19 carries for 85 yards.
Yeah.
And 10 of 12, which, again, Marshalik is assaulting the record books from a completion standpoint.
Yes.
And Delaney, I'm sure, is continuing his torrid pace from a reception standpoint.
You can only imagine he has at least 6 or 7 of those.
Right, but 10 of 12 for 67 yards.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's – and you figure 23 of those came on the tunnel screen touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it's been a little it's not quite 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but it's not as explosive perhaps as we've seen in the past.
It's like this new brand of footballs, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You know, we talked about it at length with Coach Dara, how that short passing game is just an extension of the running game. And I think you do have to take into account in there the completion from Marshalik to Lukuski for probably an 8-yard loss.
Yeah,
it was
that's a good point.
A big loss. So that definitely that skews the numbers a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this is not going to be. You know, we've seen Red Tornado offenses over the past few years that have scored the most points ever, and you know, had just these incredibly potent offenses that were just outgaining and outscoring teams left and right. This isn't. And I actually just got confirmation. Minus 7-yard pass to Lukuski okay, so that's a run. So Marshalik is 9 of 11 for 74 yards.
Okay.
So they changed that because it was a backwards pass to Lukuski. So that
winds up being 20 rushes for 78 yards then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. 20 for. Yeah, 78, sorry.
It's all right.
Your math was mathing and mine wasn't.
I'll do the math. You do the other stuff. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
But while we're getting ready to get set here, just again, we talked about scores from around the area as well. A couple games folks might be interested in. Battle of the Columbias. Southern Columbia up 21-6 on Central Columbia in the second quarter. Danville up 35-0 over Milton. The Red Tornadoes' Week 6 opponent, Hughesville, up 37-0 over Midwest. North Schuylkill 28-7 over Jim Thorpe, and one of the more surprising teams of the area, for my money, the Shamokin Indians are up 63-0 on Central Mountain at the half.
Wow. I mean, it's been brewing. I mean, Shamokin area's 4-0 going into this game this week with Central Mountain. They've been, a offensive juggernaut, essentially. I mean, they beat a perennial powerhouse last week, Jersey Shore, and they've played some tough teams. So they're going to be a tough out this year.
Hawley's kick is in Kimsel's direction. Kimsel's going to wisely let it go out of bounds. And so now we'll see if Coach Darren makes the same choice he made in the second quarter here.
I don't see anybody heading out on the field, so I think it's going to.
And again, I'd certainly be willing to give Kimsel and Kricky the benefit of the doubt and the option to return a kick again. And we talked about it. The Red Tornadoes' only blemish of the season was a Week 1 loss at North Schuylkill, in which the Red Tornadoes were able to return 0 kicks.
Right.
Due to the North Schuylkill kicker blasting every single kickoff into at the end zone. It was Menser, Gavin Menser.
That's right.
Turned all, I believe, was it 8 kickoffs into touchbacks?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, and I mean, also made a field goal and did pretty much everything else. Menser and Luke Miller were the deciding factors in that football game.
Kimsel will get a chance to return this one from the 18. He's going to make his way across the field where he's got his blockers, and he slips down on the turf. So in this case, the option to return the kick is going to cost the Red Tornadoes about 20 yards, maybe 18, back to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that's a tough one there for the Red Tornadoes. But this time around for the Warriors, they set that kickoff up the way that they wanted it to. They kicked it to their sideline, and it looked like 4 Warriors unblocked running down the field. So it forced Kimsel. He had to go into the teeth of that kick return, and unfortunately just trying to make a cut, trying to make a play, slid down.
Trips to the right for Marshalik, and they get it out to Delaney quickly. Gets good blocks from Bailey and Blichik, and Delaney's got some speed. Can anybody catch him? There's no flags. Touchdown, Mount Carmel. 81 yards, Marshalik to Delaney.
And talk about a way to start a half, Jim. You know, your last offensive play of the first half is a 23-yard tunnel screen to Jalen Delaney for a huge touchdown. So, hey, let's open up the second half with your first offensive play, getting the ball to him with some blockers out in front of him, and let him make magic.
Well, and if you saw, Dan, in the formation there, the way it was set up,
Number 42, Robert
Bailey
Scott,
was actually in between Blichik and Delaney.
He was the point man, yeah.
So Bailey got out there, and between Bailey and Blichik, they kind of were able to give Delaney a little crease. And my goodness, with the kind of speed he has, that's all he needed.
Yeah, he outran every angle from a Warrior defender there. With just blazing speed down the sidelines. And, you know, we got a front row seat to it here at our nice vantage point. Got to see him just blaze down the sidelines.
Choppy's extra point's good, and so a mere 20 seconds into the second half, the Red Tornadoes have doubled their lead, 24-10.
And again, Jim, that's one of those plays that kind of just takes the wind out of a team.
Well, and I think, you know, it's what we were just talking about. It's how this offense is new wave, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, right?
Yeah.
No, not a lot of explosive plays. And
yeah. Well, I guess
they've been wrong so many times on those kinds of things.
They've definitely proven us wrong up to this point. But that's again, though, that's just it's an extension of the running game. That's a pitch play, essentially. It's just, hey, let's get him the ball out there with 2 blockers in front of him. That's all it is. It's not a – Marshalik doesn't have to throw the ball 12, 15, 20 yards downfield.
Again, we want to, as we're here at Memorial Stadium, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, Hirsch Family Dentistry, for their support. I want to thank all of you for watching wherever you might be. Red Tornadoes travel well as they always do. It's a nice sea of red amidst the backdrop of those green pine trees.
Yeah, it is a cool backdrop there. Just the trees as like a natural barrier.
Reeder from the 10. And Reeder's got some space. Can Shoppy get him? No! Reeder, 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That's how you answer if you're the Warriors, and it's 24-16.
That is absolutely how you answer that, Jim. You are 100% right. And I thought that this was gonna. That's all it takes. Just one cut. You make one guy miss. You get to the sidelines, and then you just put on a display of speed and agility, and that's how you cut that lead from 2 scores back down to 1.
And now, again, we're 31 seconds into the second half, so it's perhaps too early.
Number 5, Gavin Hawley.
Cricky gets there just the last second, and Hawley's kick is up and good. But so perhaps it's too early to make these comparisons, Dan. But we were just standing here at the half talking about how the setup here and just being up in the Williamsport general area reminded us of a game the Red Tornadoes played at Loyalsock a few years back. And there was like 60 points scored in the third quarter, I swear.
And they had the ball the entire third quarter, the Red Tornadoes did. They scored. Julian Steller, the kicker at the time, recovered his own onside kick. They scored again. He recovered his own onside kick again. They scored again.
Yes.
I think the Lancers were able to get the ball back for maybe 48 seconds or so of the third quarter, and that one came all the way down to the wire. But Jim, this kind of going off that a little bit, it just seems like the Red Tornadoes haven't been able to put anyone away. You know, that big play to take a 2-score lead is huge. I mean, that's a tremendous play, and you know, you really thought that kind of was going to take the wind out of the Warriors' sails, and then they come back with a special teams touchdown and gets them right back to 1 score. Every time the Red Tornadoes start to extend the lead, seems like teams are just pulling it right back.
Deep from Mount Carmel, number 4.
So that Loyalsock game I was talking about was 2021. The Red Tornadoes won 60-41, but they scored 3 times in the third quarter. There's 24 points in the third quarter,
Wow.
in addition to a touchdown from the Lancers. So there's 32 total points scored in that third quarter.
That's 14 here so far, and we're not even a minute in.
Kickoff out of bounds yet again.
Flag on the play.
And I look at Marshall to see what he does.
Yeah.
And he's still swinging his helmet around his waist. And so Red Tornadoes are going to take another shot at returning this kick.
And Jim, I think if you remember correctly, 2 weeks ago, the last time the Red Tornadoes played a game on the road here, there was a kick return for a touchdown by the opposing team, followed by a Mike Kimsel kick return touchdown to answer right back. And the Warriors seem pretty content to kick this ball at Kimsel every time. So we'll see if there's he can catch lightning in a bottle again. But maybe not.
This will be Kricky from the 18, excuse me. And now Kricky's got some space, and he just got tripped up around the 48, call it the 44-yard line, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, that's still, again, another net game. So I think Coach Dara comes out on the right side of these ones with these penalties on the kickoffs. He's 2 for 3 now, ending plus yardage. So I think we'll let that last one go, especially considering that you come back with the first offensive play that goes for 6. So we'll see if that same setup they had last drive on the first play that went all the way.
But this time it's a handoff to Kricky. He's gonna have a first down off that left side, and it's interesting, Dan, because if you noticed, with the setup to that right side now,
yeah,
the Warriors are kind of overloading that a little bit from a defensive backfield side.
Yeah, I think if Karicki's able to get into the defensive secondary on that short side of the field, he's going to spell trouble for the Warriors.
Nowhere to go there for Kricky on the first down run. But watch Burkett, number 9, when the Warriors set up when the Red Tornadoes are in this formation. All right, they're going to leave it. Bailey's going to move. So.
Yeah, but even still, even the 2 receivers set here. Oh, no. All right, now they're still shading 3 defenders to the 2 receiver side.
And Kricky is blown up in the backfield, and that's big number 54. That's Kingston Fisher. Again, he had a big play in the first half. Got another one here. And the Warriors are ready for those.
Yeah, they are. And now the Red Tornadoes are looking at a 3rd and long here. I mean, after just being, we talked about it, so potent, so electric on that first drive. 1 play, 81 yards, touchdown. Now we get the big first down run from Kricky to get into Warrior territory.
And so you see then the ball's on the left hash from there. Look where Burkett is. He's the other safety in the middle of the field. There's all kinds of space over there where it's just Adams. And it's a back shoulder fade for Adams. And it's out of bounds, incomplete, and the Red Tornadoes are going to have to punt.
Yeah, just a little bit too far back shoulder there. It looked like that pass another yard or 2 upfield. I think Adams is able to come underneath and catch that one, but good job in coverage there by the Warriors. Now we'll see Karicki try to pin the Warriors deep here.
2 minutes and 3 seconds into the third quarter. It's been an emotional roller coaster so far.
Yeah.
Karicki's got a good kick. It's going to be fielded at the 14 and dropped immediately by Lukuski. Belichick was the first on scene, but Lukuski's going to grab the returner there. I think that's Burkett and drag him to the ground.
Yeah, that's a really good job there by the Tornadoes punt coverage team. Getting down there, and that's going to count as a punt down inside the 20 for Karicki, which is huge. I mean, he got it inside the 20. It was a really good punt. He got a good one off, and thanks to the coverage, gets to keep them down there and set their defense up in a good spot. Warriors got a long field to go here to try and knot this one all up.
Start at the 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Twins left, a single receiver to the right for Messina. The southpaw quarterback who's been deadly accurate so far tonight, but this time it'll be Banks up the middle, who's still on his feet, twisting and turning. He'll get out to around the 24-yard line, giving him 7. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, the escapability by Banks is phenomenal. It just looked like he went into a sea of players and almost came out on the other side. It was just a shoestring got him. Kept him from turning that into a huge play.
Now, Banks is a little bit bigger, but I watch him run down, and I'm reminded of Radwell Susan from Mifflinburg.
Yes.
Just kind of a stockier kid that doesn't go down. He's got a good sense of balance, low center of gravity.
Yeah, and can run in between the tackles with the best of them.
And it'll be Banks again. They'll have a first down around the 28-yard line.
And that low center of gravity that you mentioned, Jim, has Banks always falling forward. Always falling forward. So even those plays where it's going to be close, he's get tackled close to the line of scrimmage, close to the first down marker. He's going to get that call every time because he's falling forward, getting that extra yard or two every play.
It's a 3 wide at the tight end for the Warriors. Messina's going to throw. He was looking for Reeder, incomplete. Belichick in good coverage.
Yeah, Belichick in really good coverage, and that's one of the few times today that Messina's been offline, and you wonder if it's by design. I mean, Belichick was in really good coverage there. You try to throw that ball down and away, maybe your receiver can go get it. If not, it's an incompletion and you get to play another down. No danger in that pass.
It's the same look out of the Warriors. It's Crawford and Reeder to the field side. It's Williams to the sideline. But it's going to be a handoff to Banks to the sideline side of the field and nowhere to go. He'll get maybe a yard as Karicki gets up off the bottom of the pile along with Miller.
Yeah, Karicki again coming from that nose guard spot, just defeats his blocker and gets on the back of Banks there and rides him down to the ground. So another really, the 3rd and long here, but again, this is kind of where the Warriors have made their money throughout this game. Look at the, looking to see wide side of the field here, the Warrior sideline, maybe a flood route, get 2 guys in different levels and try to find the open one.
3rd and 9, Messina's on the move immediately under pressure. He steps up, he floats it out to Crawford, and he's got him. It's going to be short of the first down.
Yeah.
But it's a good ball. We'll see what the Warriors do here on 4th and, it's going to be about a full 2 yards, so you expect a punt.
Yeah, Messina does a really good job. Morgani was applying a ton of pressure. He had just trying to stop Messina from that rollout. He kind of a safety blitz there, just trying to hem Messina in, but Messina kind of twisted his shoulders to avoid the outstretched arm of Morgani. But here's a situation where you have to remember, you have to have it in your mind that Banks is the guy punting, and that's why the Red Tornadoes are only sending back 1 returner, and that's Belichick.
Good job there by all involved, really. Belichick's going to retreat a little bit. Now he stops and he's going to change fields, change direction. He's up inside. It's a good return from Belichick. A good job by the Red Tornado punt return team to keep an eye on Banks. And a nice shot by Banks to kind of hold that as long as he could and get off a good punt.
Yeah, I mean, it was a phenomenal punt. There was zero rush. But again, by design, no rush by design. They were ready for Banks to kind of keep that and run it. Banks was scanning, trying to find somewhere to run. Didn't have anywhere to go. He finally booted it away. And really nice job by Belichick, who's not your normal return guy back there, making something happen and getting the Red Tornadoes in pretty decent starting field position here.
Marshalik out to Belichick immediately. It's a good block from Bailey. He gets out to the 45. It's going to be 2nd and 3.
Number 1, Chase Belichick.
Yeah, again, a nice gain there. Just quickly getting that ball in and out of Marshalik's hands, keeping him clean, keeping him from getting hit.
Number 88.
Again, every time you say keeping him clean, Dan, it's worth mentioning again that offensive line and the work they've done, not just tonight, but all season. Marshalik to throw again. It's Belichick one more time. Excuse me, that's Adams that time for a first down. Inside Warrior territory at 49.
Yeah, I thought it was Belichick again, too, because I saw he and Delaney swap sides there on that play, but you're right. That was Adams doing a really good job. Just Adams is a great possession receiver. You know, he'll come back to the football. He knows where the sticks are. It's that he's the senior. He's got that veteran mentality out there.
And Delaney open. He's got it. Touchdown, 49 yards. Marshalik to Delaney, their third hookup of the night, and it's 30-17 here, Mount Carmel with 5:48 left in the third. Wow.
Wow, Jim.
And I should say Delaney's 4th touchdown overall, 3rd connection with Marshalik.
Yeah, that's just an incredible. And Jim, I mean, I think Marshalik could have went to all 3 of his receivers on that play. It looked like everybody, there was a white jersey running downfield at kind of all 3 levels. One outside the hash-ins, one down the middle, and one outside the far hashes here. And he made the right choice. He went to Jalen Delaney, who was just running away from his defender already, and he just laid out a beautiful ball for him.
Shoppy's kick is up, almost blocked, but good.
The extra point is good.
So it's 31-17.
48 seconds remaining in the third period.
And Dan, it's funny because on that play, much like, so on the play before, the reason that we thought Belichick caught the pass that Adams caught initially was because you looked at it and you saw where Delaney was.
Yeah.
So that must have been Belichick split out the other way.
Right.
So and again, we were wrong, it was Adams. So when the Red Tornadoes lined up on the next play, it was the same look. I thought, well, where's Belichick? Belichick was in the tight end spot on Delaney's side of the field. So Belichick runs that kind of seam post that pulled the safety with him that left the lane open for Delaney.
Yeah.
Really just a well-designed play, good concepts, and well read by Marshalik.
It is, and I mean, when you have 3 receivers heading deep downfield in a cover 2 defense, against a cover 2 defense, there's only 2 guys back deep to cover. That forces the safeties to make a decision. They made a decision, and Marshalik made his decision based on that and turned into 6 points for Red Tornadoes.
Well, and I'm reminded of, and I think we talked about this last week, maybe we didn't, but when Delaney does what he does with these big plays, it reminds me of that old soundbite from Randy Moss where he says, my job is to take the ball deep and take the top off the defense. And that's really, again, Delaney's been possession on the short side, but he's really been the deep threat as well, and doing that kind of opens everything else up for this offense.
Yeah, and I think you could use sound bites from Randy Moss to describe all of these Red Tornado receivers. I mean, Tate Adams is kind of the guy that, you know, if I can't get to it, nobody can get to it.
Shoppy's kick is going to be a little bit shorter this time. It's going to bounce in front of Williams. He'll take it on a hop at the 10. And Williams has a little bit of space. He's going to run into Tate Adams first and foremost. And then the rest of the Big Red will rally. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 35 for the Warriors.
A few stressful seconds there. I saw the crease, and I saw Williams kind of get to the sideline. But Tate Adams did a good job. He wasn't playing around with his blocker. He kind of just stock was getting stock blocked there and did a good job shedding and holding up Williams. Real nice job there to prevent another disastrous kickoff return for the Warriors.
Crawford and Morgani will be locked up to the field side. It's a tight Twins to the sideline with Burkett coming in motion. Blitcher will go with him, but it's going to be Banks up the middle who rolls off the initial tackler and will fight for a first down.
Christian Banks, the ball carrier. Brought down by number 27, Keegan Brown.
Yeah, and again, that's a quick first down run there for Banks, but we've got a red tornado down on the field.
I'm not quite sure who that is. It might be Kimzel.
I think it is.
It's a little bit of a process of elimination. I can tell it's a single digit.
Yeah.
And Belichick's in the huddle. It's not Delaney.
Yeah,
it's going to be Kimzel.
Trying to adjust my vision here. We have such a great vantage point up here, but it is we are a ways away from midfield, so it's hard to see. But I'm like 95% sure that's a number 4. So I think that is Kimzel.
Being tended to by our friends from Star. It's like Doc Greco, Coach Darachek, everybody checking out young Mr. Kimzel. Again, we want to take this opportunity to thank tonight's sponsor, Hirsch Family Dentistry, for their support. I want to thank all of you for your support, as Kimzel is going to be able to walk off under his own power. I want to remind you again to make your way to Supper Club next Thursday night, and all Thursday nights. Starts 6:30 at Matucci's. But if you want to see it, you better get there early. Doors open at 5:45. Bobby Zavaric will be the guest speaker, the alumni speaker, along with a handful of folks, either from the cheerleading squad, the football team, the band, the TV studio, etc. And that's one of the 2 places, other than the home game, that you can get that signed Travis Kelce jersey, courtesy of the one and only Brett Veach.
Yeah, we'll see with Kimzel on the sideline now. You got Cooper Karicki in there at that safety spot. He's essentially playing as a slot corner right now.
Messina goes to throw, and it's batted down by Keegan Brown. A great job by Brown of living the adage that if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what you need to do. The passing offense of the Warriors is essentially the same as the passing game for the Red Tornadoes. It's short passes, they get the ball out of Messina's hands quick. So that's the one thing that you have as a rush defense, is just get those hands up there. Get those hands up. Even if they're not, you don't get your hand on the ball, you can get it in the eyes of a receiver. That ball kind of hides a little bit longer if you get those arms up. So there's so many benefits to it, and the Red Tornado defense does a really good job of doing that.
Kemmerer in there at the fullback slot, but Messina's going to pull it out and throw, and he's under pressure now. He's being pursued by Delaney. Cloak is coming across the field. It's a good ball by Messina on the run, incomplete, looking for Reeder. Coverage by Lukuski and Karicki.
Yeah, very, very well defended there. Lukuski was the one that kind of drove on the pass there, the football, and did a good job. He got his hands right in between the hands of the receiver. But wow, that was a rocket.
It was, and I want to give credit on that one again to Clokus, because Messina starts to contain there. Delaney's doing his best to run him down, but what prevents Messina from going upfield is Clokus is on a beeline coming across the middle there to cut him off.
Yeah.
And Messina opts to get the football out of his hands, and it's 3rd and 10 from the 45. And Messina takes a shot, and it's intercepted by Lukuski. He tips it to himself, but there's a flag on the play.
Like immediately.
And another flag.
Flags everywhere.
So we got to sort this out. Now, Messina took a shot, but it was clean. Lukuski got his hands on the football, so you have to think anything that happened after the fact.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. You see the Red Tornado defense staying on the football field. There's no personnel changes, and it just seems like they're trying to wait until this one gets sorted out here. But
I think the flag is going to be against the Red Tornado defensive secondary, kind of nullify all of this and give the Warriors a first down.
I can't imagine how that would work. I mean, the ball's underthrown, well defended.
And it's going to be a pass interference against the Red Tornadoes. And a block in the back against the Red Tornadoes, which will be declined. But it's going to be 2. That's going to be the second pass interference penalty of the night against the Big Red.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
And it's going to be a 15-yard walk-off into Big Red territory. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 40.
And that's another big one. I mean, this one nullifies a turnover. The last one, I think, converted a 3rd down early in the first quarter there for the Warriors, which I think was that their very first scoring drive.
I'm sure somebody can answer that.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Either way,
Montoursville from the Mount Carmel
it's a tremendous play by Lukuski that unfortunately gets nullified by a penalty in the defensive backfield there.
I think the scoring drive might have been the roughing the passer.
Okay. Well, close enough.
And it's Banks off the left side. Good run down to the 32-yard line. Give him 8, 2nd and 2.
And that time there, Kemmerer gets out in front of Banks and kind of picks up a block to let Banks to get to that second level of the defense there, get through that initial line.
Lukuski and Delaney will swap out. And haven't seen Kimsel return yet, so Kricky stays in that defensive backfield along with Belichick.
Yeah.
Clokus and Miller, the linebackers. Matt Belichick and Keegan Brown are those outside backers / DNs, as the Warriors will back up 5 with a false start.
Yeah, you got Keegan Brown in there in place of Al Bailey. Didn't see Al Bailey go down with anything, so it appears just to give him a breather. He's been playing both ways.
And again, that defensive front, it's Delaney and Herb at the tackle slot, and Big Kricky right over the nose. So it'll be, again, Dan, just a traditional pro set here.
Yeah.
I formation. Banks behind Kemmerer. And Banks is going to run into a few different Red Tornadoes there. I believe the first one he runs into is the aforementioned 55 Herb.
Yeah. Bumps did a great job there. It looked like he flowed with the play. Banks tried to stick his foot in the ground and cut back, and Bumps got a hold of him, and he didn't let go. It's a really nice play there, and that's one thing that the Red Tornadoes were missing on that defensive line when Bumps wasn't there. Teams were having a lot of success in the run game without Bumps, and he's back, and it seems like it's making a difference.
Burkett comes across the formation. Messina's looking for him on an out, and it's intercepted. Morganti has it. It's Belichick to Morganti. Morganti jumps over a defender. He's still on his feet. He's inside the 20.
Wow.
It's returned down to the 12-yard line. Oh, my goodness. What a play by that Red Tornado defense.
And we've got a Warrior down way behind the play here.
And I believe that was who the ball was intended for.
Yeah.
But just to be clear again, because there was a lot of pointing, the Warriors down needs to be tended to, but nobody was pointing at a flag.
Right.
There are no flags on that one. As a great effort by both Belichick and Morganti, have the Red Tornadoes in business inside the 15.
And that was Burkett that was down, and you're right. He was the one that came in motion. The pass was intended for Burkett. It's good to see him get up and off the field under his own power, but again, just a lot to unpack there. The coverage was tremendous. The ball batted around, and it seemed like Belichick and Morganti were kind of wrestling over it. Morganti comes out with it, hurdles over a Montoursville defender on his way to setting the Red Tornadoes up in great field position for what could be, getting late in the third quarter here, a put-away drive.
Trying to stretch the lead out to 3. It's going to be Kricky, and he's got nowhere to go. The Warriors are just ready for those quick handoffs. It looked like the first man on site for the Warriors was number 75, Rakestraw. And it'll be 2nd and 11 now from the 14.
We'll see now. This is Jim. This is a good spot. You got second and long. Get your big guys. You got Belichick, and you've got Adams. Get your single coverage, and try to get one of these guys on a jump ball.
It'll be Cricky to the right side, who stumbles out of the blocks there. Never had an opportunity to get up to full speed. And it'll be slung down right at the initial line of scrimmage by number 51, Landon Moorhart.
Yeah, I'm thinking these first and second down run plays here, just kind of to lull the Warriors defense to sleep. And now we're gonna look for the big play here. And it's gonna have to be made by somebody other than Jalen Delaney, as Lukuski's in there in his stead.
And again, it is 3rd and 10 in what would you consider 4-down territory. So even if you can get 5 or 6 of them back, Marshall wants them all. He's looking for Adams, just out of his reach. It's going to be 4th and 10 now from the 14-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, Adams was fighting hands off of him from the start on that one. But no call out there, so we'll see what the Red Tornadoes decide to do. Looks like they're going to kick.
Well, this is exciting.
Yeah.
Because the ball is at about the 13-yard line, 13, 14-yard line. So you're going to see about a 30-yard field goal attempt here for Shoppy.
He's definitely got the leg to do it. But this one now, again, coming from an angle as well. You know, coming from the hash. So we'll see the not just the leg, but the precision kicking from Shoppy.
Again, this is another way to make it a 3-score game here if Shoppy's able to convert. It's a good snap. It's a good kick, and he drills it. Oh my goodness, Shoppy would have been good from 45 or 50, yeah. But he drills it through from 30 yards, and it is 34-17 Mount Carmel.
Yeah, that's a great kick from Shoppy, Jim. That was incredible, tremendous job. Great job up front blocking. It seemed like the Warriors were trying to bring some pressure, but Shoppy can't be shaken out there. And great job all around. The snap, the hold was great, and the kick was even better.
My goodness. So the Red Tornadoes put up 17 points in the first half, and then they put up 17 in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Still a little under a minute remaining here.
Yeah, we'll see now how the Warriors decide to proceed. I mean, they've been, I would say, you know, we've seen Banks and they've ran the ball well, but they've definitely been a pass-first offense.
Number 42,
they seem to have some success going into that tighter pro eye set with running the ball. So, I mean, this is 3 scores, but it's only 17 points. So, what do the Warriors want to do? You can put together a couple long drives that end in points, but then you have to kind of rely on your defense to be able to get stops. And this Red Tornadoes offense has been potent.
Good kick from Shoppy. It'll be taken by Housenet at the 16. He's going to run through a couple tackles, and then there's one nobody gets to run through these days, and that's number 17.
Returns the kickoff.
Aiden Brokenshire, the freshman out there, with just a great, secure tackle.
So one thing Coach Dara told us before this season, so we talked to Coach Dara about, you know, we always bring up corners and the Red Tornadoes defensive backfield, and he leaves them on islands, and they're out there and they're making tackles and run support and all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And he said very clearly, and this probably sounds obvious, but if you know football, you know how critical it is. He said, you don't get on the field unless you can tackle.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And you see kids like Brokenshire do that, and that's how you get on the field.
Absolutely, and we've seen it over the years.
Yes.
We've seen it with I think the Belichicks were some of the first ones, and then we saw it with Ben Miller, and then we saw it with John Morgani. Yeah, we've seen it just, you know, guys that are now steadfast on the Red Tornado defense. get their start in special teams.
And even going back a few years, I remember watching Reed Witkowski on kickoffs, and even Maddox Reed at some point. I think Maddox is on the coaching staff now even.
Yes, he is.
But it's always been a nice kind of pipeline from special teams to that defense. And Brokenshire, if he can keep doing that, he's going to have no problem finding a place to fit in.
You're right.
And Messina, I thought Butchick had that in his hands.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So good pressure on Messina by Matt Belichick, forced him to get rid of it quickly. Bailey got a hand on it, and I thought it hit Chase Belichick in the gut.
And this is you know, you're splitting hairs at a certain point, but in a situation like that, Belichick's probably thinking he wishes Bailey didn't get his hand on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If Bailey doesn't get his hand on it, that's a shot, and that's going to hit Belichick right in the chest, and he's going to go the other way for 6 points. But either way, it's a great defensive play all around. The pressure, the tip, the coverage. Great job to set up a 3rd and long here for the Warriors.
Messina rolls out. Now he's got to put his foot in the ground. Goes across the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of Tate Adams.
And the unfortunate thing there is that Tate Adams is in such great coverage that throws a little behind both him and the Warrior defender or receiver that Adams couldn't get his body turned around to reel that one in. But now we're going to see a Montoursville punt.
But that ended up being the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
And so after 3, it's 34-17 Mount Carmel up here in Montoursville in this Heartland Athletic Conference Division II matchup, sponsored by Hirsch Family Dentistry. And we talked a little bit again about getting the supper club on Thursday, and we've talked about it in the first half, and we'll talk about it again. You also got to get those bricks ordered. The bricks, the blocks, whichever you prefer, 4x6 brick, 12x12 block. Get them engraved. Go Big Red, get your family name. All your alumni family members can get their names on there. Whatever you so choose. But you need to get those orders in by October 1st so we can get them in the ground before the snow flies. Head out to redtornadofootball.com, scroll down past Dan and I. On the right-hand side, you'll see a link for the brick form. Click on that, fill out the form, and you get to be part of the Silver Bowl. It's double-edged sword there. 2 benefits for you. Number 1, you're part of the Silver Bowl, which is super cool. Number 2, 100% of the proceeds from those bricks go to the general upkeep of the stadium. So you're part of the stadium and you're keeping it beautiful.
Yeah. We'll see what the Warriors decide to do here. I think I was a little early, but we do see Banks back there for the punt. But again, this is a situation where getting late in the game here, you always have to be aware of the threat of Banks pulling this one down. He only needs 10 yards to continue this drive.
Banks took his time. He's going to take that. He's going to bounce in front of Delaney. And Delaney's going to wisely get out of the way. That ball's going to take some funky hops. It'll split the difference between he and Morganti and be down at the 25-yard line for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, it looked like Delaney and Morganti both were thinking about picking that one up, but Felver, number 8 for the Warriors, was in the vicinity the entire time, just kind of baiting him. Just please pick it up. One of those situations. But great job by the Red Tornadoes return men back there. Using their heads and just settling to take this ball and give it back to their offense.
So we're going to give a timeout here by Montoursville. Dan, as we start the 4th quarter here, one thing that was kind of going through my head, we talked about this last week as we were checking in on updates. Excuse me, I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago when we were at Mifflinburg checking in on updates. And Montoursville and Danville were locked in a tight one. Yeah. If you remember right. And Montoursville actually led 24. Excuse me, not 24. They actually were only down 23-20 at the end of the 3rd quarter. And Danville scored 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to pull away 44. They ultimately win 44-20.
Wow.
And so, but as you look at this and you think about how Danville's built and how the Red Tornadoes are built and how Montoursville is built, when you get to a point that the other team knows you have to throw the football, it starts to get complicated from a pass rush standpoint, from a defensive backfield standpoint, and those games can start to get out of hand, and Marshall has trouble with the snap. It's high. He has to pick it up and do whatever he can, but it's going to be a big loss of 10, be 2nd and 20 for the Big Red.
Yeah, Jim, just an on-the-fly update here from Jose. Yeah, we talked about the halftime numbers for Marshall. Like, he was 9 of 11 for 74 yards. Now, 13 of 16 for 216.
Oof. And I do believe that 216 yards is going to be enough to give him now the highest 5-game total to start a season in Mount Carmel history, eclipsing Cole Spears and what he did last year.
Wow. Very impressive. And I mean, just, you know, coming out of nowhere, that's four more completions for, you know, 170 yards.
And Marshalluk there slips on the turf. And again, he did a good job keeping his head up. He eluded the rush. He was going to throw the ball downfield, but he just couldn't keep his feet. And we've seen that from a few Red Tornadoes tonight. And now the Big Red are in a 3rd and long, 3rd and about 26 here. 10:35 left in the 4th quarter. They lead 34-17. But again, have this 3rd and forever in the shadow of their own goalpost.
Yeah, this is not exactly how you wanted to start the 4th quarter here. You know, looking to kind of go just drain some clock. You got a 3-score lead. You want to retain possession, keep that ball, and now you're looking at needing a big play. And
he's looking for Adams on a corner route, but they just seem to a little bit of miscommunication there. And that's going to be 4th and forever. And Karicki will come out to punt from his, if not in his end zone, his heels will be right around that goal line.
Yeah, and I would assume here that you're going to see some heavy pressure from the Warriors. I mean, there's a lot of time left in this ball game.
I'm trying to think. Did Southern block a punt last week?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
But a good job there. Karicki will get that high kick out, and it's going to be on. The Red Tornadoes have it. The Red Tornadoes have it.
Morgani,
Johnny on the spot, literally all the time. The Warriors have trouble fielding the kick, and Morganti falls on it.
Jim, and that was just a miscue on the punt return team there. Burkett waved for the fair catch, and I believe he was ran into by one of his own guys. Kind of knocked his concentration off, and he wasn't able to handle the punt.
So I got to tell you this, while the Red Tornadoes get set up here, I had a friend send me a text after the Morgani interception that said Morgani's always part of big plays. He's always around big plays.
He is.
My goodness, he couldn't have been more right. And this time it's Karicki up the middle, fighting forward.
Wow.
He'll pick up almost 9, 2nd and 1.
It's a tough run by Karicki with some big bodies around him. Just continuing the leg drive to keep moving that ball. But you know, you're right, Jim. And that was one thing I remember when I was playing. Coach Gary Hawanek, who we mentioned in week 2 with the 900th win. But Coach Gary Hawanek, he always said, he was the defensive coordinator, he always said, just get in the picture frame. You be around that football and good things are going to happen. And that's what John Morgani does. And good things happen.
The ball carrier, stopped by number 75.
Karicki's grabbed by Rakestraw and 54, Kingston Fisher. Not picking up that first down. Again, that was one where there's a good surge. You think Karicki's going to have the first down easy, and he's grabbed from behind and yanked backwards.
Yeah, we'll see now. This seems like a 3rd and short. It seems like a good spot for Al Bailey out of this shotgun double wing.
It's going to be Karicki off the right side, and I do believe he'll have the first down.
Yeah.
To keep everything moving.
Karicki with the carry. Stopped by Kingston Fisher and number 17, Todd Crawford.
Ball just on the Red Tornado side of the 50.
And again, this is kind of what I anticipated seeing from the Red Tornadoes on the previous drive. Just, you know, 2-3 yards at a time, get your first downs, chew some clock up.
8.5 left. Again, 1st and 10. And there's the one to Bailey that Dan was looking for. And there he goes! Al Bailey! Can anybody catch him? Does he get in? He does! He does! 50-yard touchdown run by Al Bailey. Oh my goodness, and it's 40-17 here in Montoursville.
That was one of the most graceful landings I've seen, and Bailey just did. I mean, that's just a great job. Bailey does such a good job of just, he takes that snap and he just stays behind his blockers, and he'll stick with them. He'll stay right on their back for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards, and then he finally finds his crease and just won the race, just barely, but won that race to the end zone.
Shoppy comes through yet again, and it's 41-17
17 seconds remaining in the fourth period.
here in the fourth quarter of this WKMC TV broadcast, sponsored by Hirsch Family Dentistry tonight. That was wild, Dan.
Yeah, it was, Jim. It really was. But that was just a good drive there by the Red Tornadoes. You get the hard-fought first down on that 3rd and short, and you think that, you know, well, we're just going to keep feeding the ball to Cooper Karicki, keep trying to wind this clock down. You get the quick hitter, the direct snap to Bailey, and he takes it for 6. What a great play call.
Well, we know they've kind of outlawed the wedge play, right, on kickoffs.
Yeah.
But when you see that, that's immediately what I think of. I mean, you have to go back and watch the replay if you can. Bailey doesn't break out of his initial 3 blockers until he's 10 yards downfield.
Right,
and
exactly.
it's only then that he kind of busts out. So just a great job, great surge by that offensive line.
And that's exactly what that is. I mean, that's the ball snapped, and the guards step down. You know, they step down and they almost create essentially a wedge for Bailey. He gets right up behind the center, and he's in a little bubble. Right. You know, and you're right. As soon as he breaks out, he did a really good job of keeping his eyes downfield and finding his crease. And when it was there, he took advantage and went after it.
And then he's just cooking.
Yeah.
All the way down the field,
yeah,
man.
he was moving there, Jim.
Reeder gave it everything he had, got him right at the goal line, but again, Bailey's just strong enough to stay upright long enough to cross the goal line. So now again, 41-17 here in Montoursville. Shoppy will kick off, 8:17 left in the fourth.
And Jim, you know, I mentioned it earlier that, you know, after the Warriors kick return touchdown, and I will say I stand corrected. I mentioned how the Red Tornadoes have had a lot of trouble thus far this year putting teams away.
Number 25.
They've proved that they have the capability of doing that this year, or in this game tonight.
Tackle made there by Miller on the kickoff return. It'll be 1st and 10 Warriors at the 31-yard line.
1st and 10 Montoursville from their own 31.
So now the Warriors will likely need to open up that offense, keep that offense open, keep the ball in the air. And actually, I think we're going to see a change in quarterback.
Yes, we are. That's
for
Elijah
the Warriors.
Eck.
Eck, the freshman, 6'2". We're going to start under center.
Eck has good numbers this year. He's 5 of 6 passing.
He's going to hand that to number 8, Alex Felver. Nowhere to go for
Number
Felver.
8, Alex Felver with the carry.
He's going to actually probably lose a yard back to the 30.
Brought down by number 9, Max Karicki.
There we'll get a swap on the defensive side. Karicki to the sideline. Kynes will come in and replace him at nose tackle.
Yeah, and there you see number 42, Kemmerer, come out for the Warriors, and number 36, Chase Jones, head in there at that fullback position.
House net split to the right for the Warriors. And Eck's going to throw. And it's going to be intercepted. It's going to be intercepted by Blichik. He was hand fighting with 88 Jacob Sean, and he took it out of his stomach.
Chase Belichick.
My goodness.
Wow, yeah. You weren't sure who was going to come down with that one. Belichick, just the final effort, yanks it away and retains possession. When he comes up with that ball, you can just, feel the excitement.
Well, and it was almost inevitable tonight because you had Belichick was right in on the interception with Morganti. Morganti got it. There was on the next drive, there was a pass across the middle.
That was deflected.
That Bailey just got his hands on.
Yep.
And so this time, Belichick said, I'm just going to take one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to catch it. I'm going to let you catch it, and then I'm going to take it from you. And now we'll see some changes here. Nope, not quite yet.
We are going to see 26 Aiden Dietz in the backfield there for the Red Tornadoes. But essentially, no other changes on the Red Tornado offense besides that.
Well, I thought I saw Dietz, and then I couldn't find him again. So then I thought I was wrong. And it will be Dietz off the right side. He's got some space. Good move to finish the run inside the 25. And again, Dietz comes into tonight's game actually as the Red Tornadoes' third leading rusher. He had 7 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown on the season before that carry right there.
And Jim, that was just a really good job by Dietz. His vision. He gets into the open field, and he's not focused solely on the goal line. He looked to his left and he saw the Warrior defender closing and put his shoulder down, protected the football. It was a really nice job.
Now some wholesale changes here. We'll see if Coach Dare needs to call a timeout or not.
It's tough to do this on the fly.
It is.
But it looks like they got it done.
And it's Belichick. Matt Belichick is going to take the snap. Going to turn around and hand that to Dietz, who's going to get stopped up for maybe a loss of a yard. But we're going to try to get some names and numbers here. Looks like I see Brokenshire out there, Dan, as well as number 10, Jackson Boblik.
Yep, I see Ezekiel Noel at the lone receiver on the near side here for us.
Joshua Blessing in there in kind of the fullback slot.
Yeah, you've got Kynes on the offensive line. It's got number
59, Jason Dillo.
Yep, 75, Elijah Rempel.
It's going to be Dietz again, and he stays on his feet inside the 20.
And Jim, the block that sprung that play was number 51, the pulling guard. That's Ryan Bush, who we've seen fill in on that offensive line. He's kind of been the first guy in there when somebody goes down, and did a really great job just opening up, pulling to the left, and sealing a guy to spring that run there for Dietz.
See 54, Lilly is in there as well.
See number 11, Josiah Reno.
Yep.
Just checked in.
I have a hunch we're missing a lineman. I feel like we didn't say enough.
I think it's going to have to be on the right side, I assume. Well, Bush was the right guard, so it's got to be the right tackle. We'll get it here momentarily when they break the huddle here. It's Burkett for the Warriors.
Make his way off the field. So let's see, 51, 54, 75. We got all that. Kynes and 50. Maybe we did get them all.
54, we got him. We got.
Yeah, because 54 was Lilly.
Lilly, right.
Yep.
Hey, you're right. We did get them all.
All right. It'll be Dietz again up the middle on third down. He's going to stay fighting. He'll be short of the first down. But also worth pointing out there, I think in the first 2 plays there, Belichick took the snap. This time it was Noel.
Yes.
On the snap, and on 4th and 4, Red Tornadoes will go for it here.
We'll see if they're going to put it in the air here. Let Ezekiel Noel throw it around. Obviously trying to eat up some clock, but you can't do that if you turn the ball over. So I'd like to see them let them put it in the air.
It'll be under 5 minutes left here when the Red Tornadoes snap the football. And it's Dietz. And Dietz is going to be he'll have the first down, yeah. Going to be down to about the 11-yard line. I think he needed the 13 for the first, so good job there by the Big Red offensive line to get that push.
You see number 19 check in there. That's Skylar Zweizig You also had 13 Logan Shooter check in there. 2 positional changes there at the receiver spot for the Red Tornadoes. Just first down.
Looked like Dietz and Reno headed to the sideline. The handoff is going to go to Zweizig. And he'll get maybe a yard. Excuse me, was that number 13? Was that Shooter?
That was Shooter.
Excuse me, yeah.
That went into the backfield. That was my mistake. Now we see number 17, Aiden Brokenshire. Looks like he's heading to the receiver spot, as that is number
88, Jalen Lilly.
Yes.
Lilly.
And there to the
Adams.
wing. Landon Adams.
And Zweizig are the receivers. Brokenshire is the quarterback. He's going to hand it off to his man in the backfield. There's nowhere to go. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Logan Shooter, the ball.
Shooter took a shot right away.
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of changes on the
interior of the
Warrior
Montoursville
defensive
line.
side. So we'll see here. Now it's going to be a 3rd and long.
We'll see what Coach Dara opts to do here. Again, Brokenshire in the shotgun. Was that Dietz back in there behind him? They
Yes.
handed to Dietz, but there's nowhere for him to go either. And now it's going to be 4th down.
Dietz, the ball carrier. Stop by Chase Jones.
As the Red Tornadoes are going to get some work for their depth guys against the Warriors ones. 2:40 remaining here, 41-17 Mount Carmel. And really the defense for the Red Tornadoes has been the story tonight.
Yeah.
The Warriors are going to have 17 points. 7 of them come off a kick return for a touchdown. So that Red Tornado defense, after giving up 6 points last week, only gave up really 10 tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's Noel again, and he hands it to Dietz, and there's nowhere for Dietz to go, as the Warrior defense is just feasting in there.
Stop by number 85.
And it'll turn
Brady
over on
Foster.
downs. So it'll be 1st and 10 Warriors, 2:15 left. You see for the Warriors, you see Williams come off the field. 71, Ethan Bloom. Owen Kleinman was out there. And it'll be Elijah Eck, the freshman, again under center for the Warriors.
Yeah, we see a lot of the same guys here on that Red Tornado defensive side that we got on the offensive side.
Eck's handoff up the middle.
Yeah.
Looked
like he had Azazel
the
Lilly
carry.
there.
Stop by number 54.
That was Kleinman on the run on the other side.
And I think you also had Bush in on that tackle as well. Bush coming from that linebacker spot. Lilly at the defensive tackle.
That's Rempel in there on that nose tackle spot. And it's going to be a handoff. And then it's going to be, Rempel's going to ride him down. Nice play by number 75.
Caden Kleinman with a carry.
Yeah, Rempel
And
with
it's also going to be Josh Blessing getting up off the bottom as well.
Rempel with a nice hard step. He stepped into
Rempel.
that gap and defeated his blocker and did a really nice job of just kind of sitting down. He didn't over pursue and made a really nice tackle.
Boblik was on the corner. He's going to head out. He'll be replaced by Adams. Again, it looks like it's Noel and Shooter in the defensive backfield, along with Lilly and Adams. Good strong run there by the Warriors, but again, it'll be slowed down by Blessing and ultimately dropped. See who gets off the bottom of that pile, Dan. Number 40, Dylan Poe in there. 14, Noel. 13, Shooter.
Yeah.
A lot of different guys involved for the Red Tornadoes. And we're under 40 seconds here at Memorial Stadium.
see now. Might be the last play of the game here.
Another handoff. And what a play by Dylan Poe. Came blasting in, grabs Kleiman and drags him to the ground.
Yeah, that's a big play by Poe there. We saw a big play from Dylan Poe last year.
Yes.
The long pick six.
And that's the end of the game with the final score.
And that's the clock. So hit zeros here at Memorial Stadium. The Red Tornadoes are going to improve to 4-1 on the season, courtesy of this 41-17 win over the Warriors.
Yeah, Jim, this was, I think, this was a big game for the Red Tornadoes. They played a complete game, and I think this is one of the first times all year that they're able to say that. I mean, they, 4-1 is not a record to scoff at, but they won in all facets of the game tonight. They had a really good run game. They could count on it. They leaned on it when they needed to. Again, Marshall had a tremendous game putting the ball in the air. And defensively, you mentioned it. The defense only gave up 10 points tonight to another really good offensive football team.
Yeah, we talked, after the Mifflinburg game, the Red Tornadoes were really coming into a tough stretch of their schedule here. They were to be home versus Southern, here at Montoursville, home versus Hughesville, and then at Danville. It's a really tough 4-game stretch.
Yeah.
And halfway through, the Red Tornadoes are about as good as you can be, 2-0, with 2 to go. So it's been very helpful to the season. And we've talked about this a lot, Dan, with those games early on, the down big at North Schuylkill, fighting back.
Yes.
Right? The game against Central maybe it looked different on the scoreboard than maybe it did in actuality, right? It was a little bit closer.
Yeah.
The big win, the 1-point win in Mifflinburg, the 1-point win at home versus Southern. This is a gritty team, and tonight they kind of, as you said, they put it all together a little bit.
Yeah, they did. It just all around a solid victory for the Red Tornadoes. I mean, it's just been, and again, this is one of the longer trips you're making this year. Mifflinburg, Montoursville. You've got one more long drive, I think, this year to Milton. Danville's just over the other side of the river there, but this has been a really good job of just coming ready to play. Coming ready to play. You get off the bus, it's a long ride, but you played a full football game and you won in all facets.
And we're at the halfway point of the season now, so I feel like it's okay for you and I perhaps to start thinking bigger. Coming into tonight, the other piece is with the Red Tornadoes and the Warriors both at 3-1. They were actually seeded 3rd and 4th with Montoursville in the 3 slot, Red Tornadoes in the 4th in District 4 AAA playoff seeding. Yeah. Again, we're only halfway through, guys. We got 5 weeks of regular season to go. A lot of things can change, but it was a big win against a quality opponent here. And so as we trying to see, do we see Jose anywhere? I'm not sure if we're going to have any stats tonight post-game. I don't think we're going to get them. So, as such, it may be a good time for us to go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. So again, we want to thank tonight's sponsor, Hirsch Family Dentistry, for their support. I want to thank all of you for your ongoing support and for spending your Friday nights with us. So I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
For Jose Gonzalo, this has been a WKMC TV broadcast where you watch the Red Tornadoes defeat the Montoursville Warriors 41-17 in Week 5 of the 2024 football season. Next week, we'll be back at the Silver Bowl for a clash with Hughesville. It is homecoming, so make sure you're there to join us. And again, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you spending your time with us, so drive safe, and we will see you next Friday.